I got 5 on it.
On what?
You know, the 2025 preseason all-conference team.
And you just had to sing again?
Yeah.
Monday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show, of course, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by my strawberry swirl girl, of course, Erik Ruby is sitting in this chair to my right, to your left.
That's
of course,
right.
We got the deli man behind the Mac just making all of the sandwiches happen. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. 5-star review, not for us, but for the 5 Sun Devils on the preseason 2025 All-Big 12 football team. Of course, that breaking just a little over an hour before the show started. It's not
Nothing
like
like
we
scrapping everything.
It's not like we had a show planned before that or anything. But of course, some good news and some big news for the Arizona State Sun Devils. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the new jerseys that dropped. Also, 24/7 Sports dropped their own media poll. I saw you did that the other day. So
trendsetters.
Maybe we
people
can compare
calling
the two.
PHNX Sun Devils.
Yeah, you know? I'm here for it. Sharon saying live from Frisco, or is that tomorrow? Of course, we're in the beautiful Studio K. We'll be in Frisco tomorrow. Ben's in here. Connor's in here. Will's in here as well. Rubus, we're going to see all 5 of those Sun Devils that landed on the preseason All-Big 12 football team in Texas on Tuesday and on Wednesday. Sam Leavitt, Jordyn Tyson, Ben Coleman, CJ Fite, and Xavion Alford all landed on that team. How we feeling?
Good. Really light day. Not busy at all.
Light day.
No, not a lot of moving pieces.
I mean, we could just maybe we'll go for 3 hours today.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, I got really stretch out on this one.
Yeah, I think Shane would like that one.
Yeah, Shane's giving us a thumbs up behind the Mac. I mean, listen, I put it in my tweet, and we'll get into like each player individually, because also there was the offensive player of the year, which we'll get to with Sam as well. Listen, the expectations are on this team, man.
Yeah.
Defending champions, most people selected to the preseason all-conference team, offensive player of the year. Like, there's no reason, like, there's no hiding for this team. There's no reason for them to be bad. Like, yes, you lost Cam Scadaboo, but even people like us will tell you that they are prepared to overcome that.
People like us.
Yeah. You know, and we're sitting here, and it's like, imagining the media frenzy that's going to go on around Arizona State during Big 12 Media Day. Their day one tomorrow. Kenny Dillingham is the closing press conference.
He's the headliner.
Like he's the headliner. I know we talk about like 365 days ago. Could you imagine? No, but like there is no hiding for Arizona State. Like you have to show up and perform this season. There are no excuses. Cam Scadaboo being gone, not an excuse.
This team went from having not a single player on the 2024 preseason all-conference team to now leading the conference in terms of having 5 players, and 5 players at key positions, right? It's not like some of the teams in there that, and yes, it's a team sport. Every single position is important, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying, though, right? You got the quarterback.
Do not disrespect Palmer Williams from Baylor, okay?
You got the quarterback. You got the lead wide receiver. You got an offensive lineman. You got a defensive lineman. You got a DB. Like, you have guys across this roster, like, for the Sun Devils that are, again, key positions that are some of, if not the best in the conference at what they do. Like you said, like there is no running, right? Like this is a team that worked its tail off to prove people wrong last season.
Yeah.
They did that. They accomplished it. And now in 2025, you got to prove those these same individuals that have you getting all these preseason honors, you got to prove them right.
Well, if anybody knows that this doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it's ASU.
Yeah, like, we're going to I know, dude. We're going to ask Kenny about it, and Kenny's going to be like, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Because it doesn't. I mean, it's nice. We'll talk about it.
It's nice for us,
It's nice. We'll talk about it. Like, they deserve it. X deserves it. Fite deserves it. Ben deserves it. Sam I can't leave anybody out.
Yeah.
Sam deserves it.
Jordyn
Jordyn deserves it. They all deserve it, right? But at the end of the day, it's just typing in an email.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you got to go out there and you got to win football games. And if anybody knows that, if anybody knows that at the end of the day, whoever's name is on this list doesn't matter, whoever is ranked in whoever's Big 12 media preseason poll, obviously we had Arizona State first, but like, does that matter? No. It's July 7th.
Yeah.
Like, you got to go out there, you got to win football games. But this is both teams, offense and defense, all conference team. And I mean, Iowa State, Texas Tech had a lot of names as well. I mean, this conference, I feel like, has some pretty elite high-end talent.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And the best of it's at Arizona State, right? Some of those other key positions at wide receiver, you have Erik McAllister at TCU at wide receiver. He's a senior. You've got Chase Roberts at BYU. He's obviously a senior. Along the offensive line for the Big 12, a bunch of older offensive linemen. Defensively, you've got some of those transfers in there. You got David Bailey at Texas along the D-line. Like, every school is pretty well represented here. Of course, we talk about ASU. But noticeably, there are no Wildcats.
Yeah, I was about to say almost.
Just had to throw that out there. No Arizona Wildcats on the all-conference team. And again, like you said, like, this is a team in Arizona State that there is no running from it, right? You have to meet these expectations or surpass them. You need to build off of what you did last season, and I think this team will do that. I think you think that team will do it. That this team will do it. I think Shane thinks that. Unless I'm totally just putting words in his mouth.
Not just like. Listen, I think some people might like randomly click on this and they might hear us talking about it and they'll be like, "Oh, it's a Sun Devils podcast. They're gonna hype them up."
Yeah,
right. Again, go back 300.
We didn't vote in this.
I mean, go back 365 days ago. And while we were higher on the team than last in the Big 12, we certainly weren't saying they were going to win it, right? Like, we are not. I'd say, like, we are not biased would be a funny thing for us to say, because, like, obviously, like, we lean towards this team.
I think you're probably a little bit more biased than I am.
Yeah. But like, but realistically here, this is what they've earned and deserved.
Yeah.
And there is no bias in these like media preseason polls. And when we're looking and going down this list, like, I'm not surprised at any of these names here. And, Keyshawn Elliott is a name that I wouldn't have been surprised to see on this list as well. Like, I think there are a couple other players that you could argue
snubbed.
It's so funny because, like, Damon makes fun of us for being like the smallest disrespect for ASU. It's like, it's like, yeah, but like, yeah, I think
all the
that
same things they were saying last year about.
Yeah, I think that you could argue there were a couple more names that deserve to be on this list, but that's okay, right? Bulletin board material still. Like, how Kenny Dillingham looks in EA College Football 26.
Yeah, that's tough.
Bulletin board.
I wouldn't
material.
put that honestly anywhere where people could see it.
That's on Sam Levitt's list.
Bulletin board.
Devs.
Yeah, not ideal.
Don't disrespect my coach like that.
Yeah. Well, look, Sam Leavitt, you brought him up. He was named the preseason Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. That's
going to
be.
To you?
I don't think that's surprising. No.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised that they didn't pick a little Sawyer or a little Avery
I'm
here?
I think when it comes to the whole narrative about Sawyer Robertson and Josh Hoover and some of these other Big 12 quarterbacks, I think they're all talented quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think those names are going to be big-time players on their respective teams. But it goes back to what I said last week of there's a guy in this conference that already did it, right? That won the conference. There's a guy that beat another top 5 quarterback in Rocco Becht in this Big 12 championship, and it wasn't close, right? Mm-hmm. And he made the college football playoff. Yes, again, it's a team thing, but I'm not picking Avery Johnson. Why? His team fell off toward the end of the season. Yes, it's a team sport. A lot of that falls on the quarterback and the head coach. Sawyer Robertson and Baylor, they were great, had an above-average season. They weren't in the Big 12 championship game. Yeah. BYU, some of these other schools and quarterbacks, whatever, like, yes, they can be talented, but I'm glad that a guy that is a reigning Big 12 champion that did decide to come back to Arizona State, that does have his number one wide receiver in Jordyn Tyson with him, and that is a quarterback that played in the college football playoff. I'm glad that he was the one representing the Big 12 at this position for this team because he deserved it.
Do you know who would have some qualms with the fact that Sam Leavitt's the offensive player preseason, or offensive player of the year in the preseason?
Phil Steele.
Yeah, it is. It's got to be Phil. Yeah,
dude.
I saw his big forehead floating around on the show on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever I was gone.
Yeah, it was a good time. I went back to look through that show, and it was just me looking at
Phil.
Yeah,
looking at PS there.
I mean, that's my guy.
Is it?
That's
is it your
dog.
guy?
That's my dog.
That's your dog.
PS Plus.
Except for like some.
It's
of the
what?
stuff that-
PS Plus.
Yeah, PS Plus.
Man, we got expensive.
No, we don't. We
have
don't.
to.
We don't. I can't imagine you get that much.
You know, it's like $269.
Yeah, you know how I do know that?
Because
you brought it up on this show just about every single time,
dude. Phil,
that we've had a show.
Phil is a legend, man.
I don't know if I'd say he's a legend. But Sam Leavitt and Jordyn Tyson, I think they will be by the time this season's over.
No, we're not transitioning away from Phil Steele.
We need to get out of the Phil Steele discussion.
Okay, so with Sam and Offensive Player of the Year,
yeah,
I agree. I think it's the right choice. I thought they would maybe get a little cute. I thought they'd maybe get a little.
I'm glad they didn't. Though.
I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't.
Getting
as
cute
well.
is like such a Big 10 pack whatever it is now type of thing to do. Yeah. Like the SEC and the Big 12, they don't get cute. But the Big 10, the ACC, the Mountain West / Pac-12, all that's what they do.
Pac-12 don't get cute anymore.
Well,
Pac-12's a serious conference.
Is it? Is it a serious conference?
And he says he's wearing his Pac-12 shirt.
Oregon State still plays Washington State twice a year.
No.
I think they still play twice this year.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe
that's tough.
They're not serious until
that's the definition of not being serious.
They're not serious.
Well, home and home.
Literally, that's what they're doing.
We gotta check this.
Yeah.
Washington State, they play 3 weeks apart. November 1st and November 29th, they play each other. You can't even do it like beginning and end, like a bookend, beginning and end of season. Oh my God, the schedule is kind of nuts.
It is kind of nuts. It's weird, isn't it?
They have Oregon and Texas Tech and Fresno State and Cal, but they also have Appalachian State, Wake Forest, Lafayette. Then like the first half of their season is like a good schedule.
Yeah.
Cal, Fresno State, Texas Tech, Oregon, Houston, and then it falls off. Appalachian State. Wait, I'm sorry.
Don't sleep on Appalachian State.
Sorry, we're not doing the Oregon
State
football.
Don't sleep on them, dude. Don't sleep on those guys.
No. Do you think that Kanye Udo had a argument for newcomer of the year over Devin Dampier at Utah?
I would like to say yes, but everyone is biased when it comes to quarterbacks.
Sure.
Unless you are an otherworldly skill guy, like I think in reality, Jordyn Tyson has an argument for the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But quarterback is going to get that award, right? Now, last year was a little bit different in this conference because you had Ollie Gordon returning and he was, as hyped of a sure thing running back as you could possibly get, and we saw how that went. So there is still a little bit of pressure on Sam Leavitt to, not have that type of season, which I don't think he will. I don't think there's a lot of people that think that he will ultimately have kind of a failure of a season like Ollie did. But ultimately, like it's always going to be a quarterback if there is any room for it. So
do you think
I'd love to see where he was though, like
in
terms of votes, like was he second? Was he third?
People
was
are
he
pretty
fourth?
high on him.
People are really high.
I think
EA is really high on Kanye.
I think as they should be. I mean, he put up the numbers, right? He has the track record to prove it. Defensive Player of the Year, Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker at Texas Tech. X or CJ Fite, do you feel like they should have been in contention for that?
I mean, I think they were probably both in contention the way that Kanye was, but ultimately, I don't think this conference, and the conference I don't think would ever say this, but I don't think it's not a good look to have Arizona State, right? It's not good to have Sam Leavitt, Xavion Alford, and Kanye Udo as your Big 12 offensive, defensive, and newcomer of the years. Now, it could be that that's how the season ends, right? If Arizona State has a ridiculous season.
Could you imagine?
No, I couldn't imagine. But it would be I could see that happening.
Yeah.
But at the start of it, the preseason thing, I don't think that was ever going to happen.
Yeah, I think those two were probably in contention there. But I mean, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it at all. Just curious your thoughts.
Now, before we take a break, more or less, Arizona State Sun Devils make the end of the year all-conference first team. Because that's pretty much what this is.
First team.
That's pretty much what this is.
Is push an option?
You could push.
I would push.
You would push at 5.
I think two
Safe answer.
I think two names that could contend. I think Keith Abney and Shaman.
Yeah, I was gonna say Shaman.
And
definitely.
I think those are probably going to end
the
up
tight end
being
nod here.
They gave the tight end to Joe Royer out of Cincinnati. I'm not familiar with Royer's game personally.
Yeah.
I mean, Sorsby needs a target. So, by the way, Ralph, huge Brendan Sorsby guy.
You know, like he is.
No,
like, for real.
like the biggest.
like,
I was going back
not
and
even
forth.
joking.
I was
think
going
Brendan,
back.
I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he was tagging me in a bunch of throws on Twitter. And I
Oh, was he?
Oh yeah, tons.
I think Brendan Sorsby is a good quarterback.
Joe Royer's got some great hair.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I think Cincinnati could be a sleeper team this year.
It's a good tight end name.
Are they a sleeper team?
Yeah, I mean,
we
people
put
aren't
them
talking
about
them.
middle of the pack.
People aren't talking about them as a top 8 team in this conference.
Oh,
Well,
top
I don't even know-
8?
I don't know where we
I
had
don't
them.
think so. You have Arizona State,
Where did
you have
we have
Texas
them?
Tech, you have Baylor, you have TCU, you have Iowa State.
I don't know if I put TCU over them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not. I just
You're not big on TCU?
We had
Josh
Cincinnati
Hoover's
10.
Josh Hoover.
10?
We had 10. So we had, me and Ralph, ASU, Kansas State, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Baylor, Colorado, Utah, TCU, BYU, Cincinnati, West Virginia, Kansas, Houston, UCF, Oklahoma State, the other one.
I think there's a real world where we see Colorado and Cincinnati swap there.
I think Cincinnati, I think if you ask me out of everybody from 9 to 12 who has the biggest chances to jump up, but maybe Cincinnati. If BYU ends up having a quarterback, then maybe them too. But not Colorado. Cincinnati might have the biggest chance to jump out of any of these teams.
Joe Royer last year, 50 receptions for 522, 3 touchdowns. He's a Ohio State transfer that transferred to Cincinnati last year, so he played at Cincinnati last year.
Are you looking up what Shaman had at that point? You said how many catches?
Oh, yeah, that's way. Shimon had 32 receptions for 306 yards and 5 touchdowns. Yeah. I mean,
But
more
it doesn't
touchdowns,
help him
but-
that Jordyn Tyson's on
Correct.
their roster.
No, for sure. That makes sense.
Kamari Anderson, by the way, in CFB 26.
Fun to play with.
Yeah, kind of a
He's
beast.
fast, dude.
Kind of a
He's
beast.
fast in real life. What do you think, Shane? If he's going with 5 on the first team, are you over, under?
It's just hard to I can't believe they are CJ5 respecters.
I
Like
know.
that fired
Which is
me up.
great.
Yeah, it's hard to
He's
pick.
got an action figure if you didn't know. By the
Yeah,
way.
it's hard to pick somebody else out of that group unless this team just continues its running back dominance. Like maybe Udo, but other than that, I if you have those two back on the top or the Big 12 first team at the end of the year, then your running back's probably not on that list too because you're not going to use him as much because of how. But
Unless this is the greatest
you never know.
offense
Yeah.
that we've ever seen.
I'm a Keith Abney apologist.
You are.
Keith Abney supporter. Keith Abney believer.
Respecter.
Respecter. All
Shane's
of the
been
above.
to Abney Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you told me that Keith Abney was on this preseason list and the list at the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that was one of the names that I was thinking of that you could talk about being snubbed. Keyshawn Elliott, I think Keith Abney.
You know what's crazy? There is disrespect. The defense has been disrespected like crazy.
Yeah.
By many people, but also college
Yeah.
football 26.
Yeah. I mean, you got two on the defense, which is, let's see, who else did anybody else have more than 2 on the defense? Texas Tech has 2 on defense. Cincinnati. Oh no, Texas Tech has 3 on defense.
All bought.
Yeah.
Bought, not earned.
Yeah.
While you look at that, we should probably go to a break, huh?
Yeah. Let's go ahead continue this conversation on the other side of a quick break. Look, Rufus, I think the over-under on how many players from Arizona State land on the end of the year Big 12 first team is something that we could probably VMe.
Yeah,
we could probably
you can VMe anything.
figure out.
That's
You
that's
can't
VMe.
You can't VMe anything. VMe, it's first of a kind, person-to-person betting app, and now there is finally an app where you can bet with anyone, anything, any time. Now, wagers, they could be for money, they can be for free, they can be for seemingly anything under the sun, and there is no more trying to track down the guy who won't pay up. Of course, we had our little free throw competition. Whatever, Rubus won. I paid up.
It was an embarrassing
and
performance.
from you specifically.
Still won, but embarrassing.
Because of Vimy, we got everything ironed out. Of course, you can do sports bets. You could do video games. You want to do the EA Sports College Football 26 bet. You could do that as well. Like I said, the best part, there's no more chasing cash. You don't got to track down the Venmo guy. No more I'll pay you later, and no more sore losers. Download the Vimy app and play today using code PHNX. Available on the App Store and Google Play. Vimy, anyone, anything, anytime.
You know, I was spending July 4th outdoors by a pool, and a guy like me, you know what I'm thinking at that time? Guy like me, where's the shade?
Yeah.
Right? Where is the shade? And that's why I need All Pro Shade Concepts. I'm looking around, I'm like, you know what this patio could use?
Shades.
It could use a roll-down patio shade, because it can keep the patio up to 20 degrees cooler with hundreds of colors and durable fabric to withstand the AZ sun. You can get a manual, or you can get it motorized, and of course, they're the most trusted local shade company, voted #1 by Ranking Arizona for patio shades in 2024, an A+ Better Business Bureau ranking, and of course over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. In business for over 20 years in the Valley, licensed, bonded, and insured. Make sure you extend your outdoor living space with All Pro Shade Concepts. Call 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadeconcepts.com right now to schedule your free estimate.
Guys, make sure you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, and again, if you're listening on audio, you drop a 5-star review. We will be making the trip to Frisco, Texas later on today. Rubus, we're going to be live from Big 12 Media Day
at some point,
at some specific hour on Tuesday.
We'll
and
let the
Wednesday.
diehards know.
We'll let everybody know. Diehards will know first. It's TBD. It's a jam-packed schedule. We got a ton going on, but don't worry, we will be there. Talking with seemingly everybody about your Arizona State Sun Devils, folks from ESPN, actual players, Kenny Dillingham. Maybe we'll even get Grammar Senior.
Who's the white whale?
Doug Tamaro.
Doug Tamaro.
It's always Doug Tamaro.
Is there a non-ASU white whale? Give me Gundy.
You want to talk to Gundy?
Hey, Mike. What crime will you endorse this year?
What about our boy?
Which boy?
Phil Steele.
No.
Do you think he'll be there?
No.
Yo, wait, he might be there.
He actually probably might.
If he's there, first of all,
this never will end.
Getting
this
an autograph.
bit will never die.
It's such a good bit.
It's a great, dude. We're dying. If he's there, we have to have him on.
Okay. If he's there.
If it's Kenny Dillingham or Phil Steele, we're going with Phil Steele. Okay. I just want that on the record.
What were you gonna say?
Stuart Mandel.
Yeah,
our boy Stuart Mandel.
2 years.
Every year,
running.
our annual Mandel.
Yeah,
the Mandel effect.
Better than Howie.
Not better than Howie.
Close.
Yeah,
but
not better than Howie.
More hair than Howie.
Yes.
Mandela effect is good. Has he used that?
The Mandela effect?
That's good.
I don't know if
he should do a podcast. That's good.
Appreciate that.
The Mandela effect on Phil Steele Plus.
Stay locked in. PHNX _Sun Devils for all things.
Are you excited to fly with me and stay at a hotel?
Are you guys sitting next to each other on a plane?
I think we are actually, but we're across the aisles from each other.
No, I have good plane etiquette. I'm not going to be like talking across the aisles. I'm just glad I'm not stuck with the middle seat. Like I was stuck in the middle seat for the Big 12 championship. I was next to two people who are significantly smaller than me, and I had the middle seat. It was insane. I wasn't
next to you though.
Yeah, you were.
Was I?
Yeah,
on the flight back or on the flight?
It was the three of us. We were sandwiched in.
On the flight back?
On the flight back, you had the window seat.
I fell asleep.
Yes, you did.
I was under the influence at that specific time, and I don't really remember the flight. I'll be honest. We
have a Phil Steele magazine buyer in here.
Yeah, Amanda commented, "I hate Phil Steele, but I still buy his magazine every year." That's Erik.
The Phil Steele effect. Yeah, no, I was in the middle seat both ways. No, we were separated on the way there, and I was in the middle seat in front of a crying baby, and we had like a
very large individual next to you.
Yeah, with a very large individual next to me, a crying baby, and
potential offensive lineman on the preseason all-conference team.
And I hadn't slept, and I might have taken an edible, and
you might have.
I still I couldn't sleep because there was a crying baby, and my personal space was being encroached upon
because of the baby.
Because of the baby.
Hey, as a colleague and a friend, I don't think anybody cares about this.
I care. Yeah. You know what? Sharon cares.
Sharon probably cares.
Sharon definitely cares.
And Sharon can hear it in the Discord.
She can. I am excited for that.
That's the nicest way anybody's ever told me to shut up.
You're welcome.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that that's the nicest.
Usually they're pretty mean about it.
Oh my goodness. Look, we've obviously talked about the preseason honors and the preseason praise for Arizona State, but let's go ahead and show you what was supposed to lead today's show before the Big 12 rudely interrupted. And that is, of course, Arizona State dropping the new uniforms. Rubus, it's been teased, and we finally have them here. Arizona State back on the chest for the first time since 2017. Got some all whites. You got some maroons with Sparky on the helmet, OTV on the back, onward to victory. What do we think?
Can we give a shout out to the media team?
Yeah, the creative team at ASU is fire.
This is such a good video, and they've always been good and on top of it, but like, this is good. This is really good. I love that Arizona State's in the front. Doug Tamaro, our white whale, made a great point on social saying, for those who are writing about the school and they look at a picture, now they know that it's Arizona State
that's
and
true.
not Arizona.
So
there's not going to be
hearing
any
that,
confusion.
ESPN? It says Arizona State.
Yeah.
Where's the O2V?
It's on the actual back of the
jersey?
No, of the collars of the jersey, like on the inside.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. These are super clean. I like the white one more.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the white one, they're going to wear the white ones for a day game at Mount America Stadium, and it's going to be amazing.
I love both sets of uniforms. I'm a Sparky apologist.
Yeah.
I love Sparky on the helmet. I think it's fantastic. I think it is probably the best helmet logo that you could have, minus the sunburst. I think the sunburst is a really, really good helmet logo for ASU. You made a good point earlier that I would have loved to see the Sparky on the all white.
An all white Sparky with a black outline.
Yeah.
Chat, imagine that.
That would have been.
Close your
been
eyes,
sick.
chat.
That would have been.
Chat,
really,
close
really
your
sick.
eyes.
Overall, though, we like these uniforms. Like, we weren't disappointed at the weight.
No. I mean, they're not like, I don't think they're like revolutionary.
Well, I don't, and that's.
Here, I'll say something that I said at the start of the show.
I'll
say something that I said before the show started. These were already some of the best jerseys in college football. They have some of the best combinations in football, probably the best in the Big 12. You didn't need to change a lot, and the fact that they were changing the jerseys made me a little nervous.
Yeah.
And when I saw this video come out, I was like, thank God, because all they needed to do was put ASU on the chest. You know, I would have loved to see a little more Sparky inclusion, but you don't do anything drastic.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you had to say on that. And the changes that were made, I think were so intentional, like that they fit and they flow well. Like, it's not like they just added something to the core jerseys for the look of it. It felt like everything was very like, okay, this is why we're doing it. We have an explanation for why we're adding Arizona State back for the first time in like 8 seasons. We have a reason why we got the O2V on the inside back of the collar, right? A nod, obviously, to the Fite song. Like, everything is intentional and it's not drastic and it fits the vibe and it really complements what the jerseys, I think, were already doing really, really well.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see these in like just at certain specific games, right? Like, what are we wearing for Texas Tech? Right? You got a big game. Are you rocking
Texas
one of these?
I think Texas Tech wears all black with red accents.
And these are your core uniforms.
And ASU wears the all whites.
The all whites.
And that would be
that'd be an all-time
sexy
that'd be
for
a great
game day?
jersey. That'd be all
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'll be at a wedding that
No,
day,
you
but
won't.
It'll be good.
No.
It'll be really, really good.
You'll be doing both.
You'll
be pulling
see.
double duty.
We'll see. We'll see. Double shift.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm here for it. Guys, let us know in the comments what you think of the Arizona State 2025 core uniforms. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you have suggestions for what could have changed?
Need an all black one now. Need to get the all black one out there.
Well, they're going to have the
Yeah.
same combinations that they had last year, probably. I'm sure there'll be some type of salute to service / Pat Tillman tribute thing they usually do.
Yeah, every year.
These are not the only 2 uniforms you'll see, and not the only 2 combinations you'll see.
Yeah, I think you'll see. Again, like you said, Arizona State, I think, has not only some of the best, but maybe some of the most underrated jerseys, or just uniform combos in general.
Here's a question for you guys: a divisive jersey. What do you think about the all golds? I love them.
A little too much gold.
I don't think it's too much gold.
I love them.
Let me go back and look at some of the uniforms, the all gold that they have. Like,
I don't hate them.
I don't hate them either. Like, I don't think I hate any of the Arizona State like jersey combos. I really like it with the Sparky on the helmet.
Yeah, I don't think you
with
can't
the
have,
full white helmet with the Sparky on the helmet.
You can't have a gold helmet with the all.
No, you also. I'll tell you what I do hate. I do hate the maroon helmets on the gold unis. I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that. But I love honestly both sets of the uniform combo where it has all gold with a white helmet and then the Sparky face on the white helmet. That goes crazy. And then also the all white jerseys, all white uniforms with the yellow helmet with Sparky, I think goes crazy too. But I'm not a giant fan of the golds just as is unless you get the right helmet. Like gold on gold with the gold helmet, I think sucks.
That's
you just
too
look
much.
like a bumblebee. I think it's too much to say the least.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
Overall, some really, really solid jerseys for Arizona State. Of course, you got the Big 12 patch. Still in the conference, reigning champions, of course. And we'll see if the Sun Devils can run it back as 2025 Big 12 champions. 24/7 Sports seems to think so because, Rubus, they've got ASU #1 on their own version of the media poll, but where does everybody else fall? We're going to answer that question and more after this quick break.
Listen, I'm not perfect. I'd consider myself a very judgmental person.
Yeah, you are.
Especially when it comes to like...
You're the worst, honestly.
Yeah, thanks, man. Flooring. And I know that sounds like Erik, that's so weird, but literally I was out with my lovely wife, Megan. We went to a restaurant yesterday, and she looks down the floor and she goes, when do you think's the last time they cleaned these floors? And I said, to be honest with you, I don't know, because I'm looking at the floor now and it looks disgusting. And I turned to her and I said, I'm using this in an ad read. I'm using this in an Empire Today ad
Was
read.
this my house?
No, it was not your house because you have high standards, but some people don't. But if you're looking to renovate your home or renovate your business or whatever it might be, use Empire Today, because not only do you get clear upfront all-inclusive pricing, but you also get $350 off plus incredible service like no big box store can offer you. So schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better off at home. PHNX listeners can receive a $350 off discount when using promo code PHNX. That's right, $350 off when using promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. Visit empireday.com/PHNX for full details and stop getting judged like people like me.
Renovate your floors and renovate your cap game, if you will, with the friends over at Branded Bills. Of course, we got the Daily Rubus 360 here. He's rocking the Branded Bills cap. We got the Phoenix one. That is, of course, in partnership with us here at PHNX. But Branded Bills, they have got hats for Arizona State fans, for Wildcat fans, seemingly anything under the sun.
Good people, bad people.
Great. Well, our folks at Branded Bills, they are great people. Now, if you're a Wildcat fan, it is what it is. But favorite part about the Branded Bills hats is, I don't know if you guys could see it from afar here, but there's little holes in these caps that make them super comfortable and super breathable, which is super, super important here in Arizona, where it feels like it's 100+ degrees every single day from now through October. Make sure you get yourself a Branded Bills hat. Head to brandedbills.com and use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. We have got a reliever in the chair now. We got Noah behind the Mac.
Woo! Woo!
Hello.
Noah, need your in-depth thoughts on the first team Big 12 all-conference team.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the offensive linemen, but all the other guys I've heard good things about and watched last year and thought they were all deserving of it. So.
Are you an ASU fan? If you had to choose, this is by the way, I want you to know right now, this is going to determine our friendship, just you and me personally, and all the friendships in the chat as well.
Choose a school.
You have to choose a school. You're not from here.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't go to Arizona State or Arizona.
You're wearing a Central Michigan shirt, which has the same colors as Arizona State
it's
University.
maroon and gold. It's
So,
the exact same.
Are you going AS? And this is like, boom, I'm planting my flag here. There's no switching. There's no switching. Are you going Arizona State or are you going Arizona?
I already have an ASU hat, so.
You know who else went with Arizona State? 24/7.
Yeah, 24/7 did go with Arizona State. They dropped their version of a preseason media poll since there was no Big 12 preseason media poll here in 2025. So let's go ahead, take a look at what 24/7 Sports had on their list. Of course, Arizona State coming in at number 1, Kansas State at 2, Tech at 3, Baylor at 4, the Cyclones of Iowa State at 5, Utah at 6, TCU at 7, the Jayhawks at 8, BYU at 9, about halfway through, Colorado at 10, Houston at 11, Cincinnati at 12, Oak State at 13, West Virginia at 14, UCF at 15, and Noah's least favorite school in the conference, the Arizona Wildcats, coming in at number 16, Ruby.
Nice.
Just clap it up. Just clap it up for 24/7 Sports here.
So biased 24/7 Sports.
Yeah.
I mean, just how could they even do this? Right?
I mean, look, if people call us biased, right, and then you have this from a non-biased outlet in 24/7 Sports,
okay,
let's just say we know what we're talking about.
so let's compare with what Ralph and I did.
Okay.
So Ralph and I and 24/7 had ASU at 1, Kansas State at 2, and Texas Tech at 3. Okay. Now they had Baylor 4, Iowa State 5. We had Iowa State 4, Baylor 5, but it's very close. They have Utah 6. We had Colorado 6. Ralph is high on Colorado. That was a big bump.
I don't think
It was a
Colorado's
big
going to be
bump.
very good, man.
But I think they'll be fine. Looking back at this, them probably a little too high, but they're 6. We have Utah 7. They have TCU 7. We have TCU 8.
You guys hated Kansas.
Kansas at 12. They had Kansas at 8. Both of us had BYU at 9. They had Colorado at 10. We had Cincinnati at 10. They had Houston at 11. We had West Virginia at 11. They had Cincinnati at 12. We had Kansas at 12. They have Oklahoma State at 13. We have Houston at 13. We have UCF at 14. They have West Virginia at 14. We have Oklahoma State at 15. They have UCF at 15. And then guess what? I mean, everybody can agree. The University of Arizona is last.
Yeah. I think everybody can really agree on that part.
Yeah, I mean, here's the most important part. 1
and 16. Yeah, they got the one right here. I think for me, some of the other schools that are going to be interesting curveballs this season that could ultimately flip these rankings or this preseason poll upside down. Utah is an interesting team. Does Devin Dampier get it right this year with Kyle Whittingham still probably in one of his final seasons at the helm of the Utah Utes? Baylor, I think, surprisingly enough, is still somewhat of a wild card team. I know there's a lot of hype. They had an above average season last year.
They could be in the Big 12 championship.
I think they could, but I think they could also be a team that is nowhere in the top 25, realistically.
A lot depends on if that defense can hold up around Sawyer.
I think Colorado is certainly in play there. The BYU situation is interesting. There are a lot of teams in this conference that ultimately could be really good, or they could just kind of be an average team, right? Everybody, including 24/7 Sports, is buying into Texas Tech. We'll see. Put it together?
We'll see. I'm not as out. I think a lot of Shane, I guess, is more who I'm talking about. But a lot of people, aka Shane, are like, "Oh, you can't buy a team."
You can, by the way. You can buy a team.
What do you think that these blue bloods have been doing for so long?
For decades.
Yeah. And at the same time, I don't think that it's fair for Arizona State fans to say, well, you can't put together a group of people and have a successful first year. You know?
Because ASU did it. Yeah.
Right? So
I guess second year.
No, but think about how many moving parts were there going into last year. There were a lot of moving parts. New quarterback, a lot of new players in the defense, players that didn't play the year before. Jordyn Tyson didn't play the year before. Shimon, there was a lot of moving parts. There were a lot of transfers and a lot of people who had to sit out the season before. I think Texas Tech will be good. Utah, of course, is always Utah. I wouldn't be surprised if Utah ends up a top 3 team in this conference.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
But also, going into last season, we both said our safest bet
was
to
Utah.
Be good in the Big 12 was Utah.
Yeah,
and they were.
They were not very good.
A lot of that does ride on Devin Dampier, right? And can he be a lot better than their quarterback situation last year, which is a pretty low bar to clear.
Cam Rising was inching his way into the retirement home. And Zach Wilson's brother. It's kind of disrespectful that we don't know his name because I think
Isaac?
it's Isaac. Wow, Isaac Wilson. Good job. That was a really good high five.
That was
too.
a great high five.
What about Kansas? Kansas, I think, is another interesting
Yeah.
team to try and
Well-
figure out here because you got Jalen Daniels, you got Lance Leipold,
Yeah,
but like, what else do you have?
Well, here's the problem, right? And Ralph and I talked about this.
Is Jalen Daniels?
Well, yes. Is he healthy? First of all,
Yeah.
and is he good? Second of all,
Those go hand in hand.
third of all, they had a bad defense last year,
They did.
and they had 2 NFL corners.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are gone.
Yeah, Mello Dotson, and then, of course, Kobe Bryant.
Yes, Mello and Kobe, they're gone.
Great names.
Great, I'm all Big 12 names,
Yeah.
for sure. But they're gone. Can they be better than last year, where they turned it on a little bit at the end? But like, what they actually end up go bowling or not?
I don't
can't
know.
remember.
I don't know. off the top
They
of
were.
my head.
This is a team. This is a team that was
Should
literally.
have been better than they were all
They were
year.
the highest. They were the highest. They had the highest odds of making the college football playoffs.
I'm pretty
out
sure
of any
my
Big 12
frosty
team.
take was that Kansas would be in the college football playoff. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, was a very frosty take. It did not happen. They were nowhere near the college football playoff. This is a team that really needed to string together some wins at the end of the year.
Kansas was 5-7 overall. They
So,
didn't even,
no.
They didn't go bowl. We're talking about a team. We're talking about a team in Kansas that was fighting to make a bowl game last year, and they lost their 2 best defensive players.
Yeah, not ideal.
Do we really think? Do we really think that they're going to be better? Because yeah, guess what?
I think they could be.
They also got a speedy wide receiver from Alabama that didn't play, but they're going to be relying on him a lot more than Arizona State is relying on theirs.
On their speedy
Alabama wide receiver that didn't play. Yes.
Oh my goodness! Like it's all going to be, look, very, very. I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for here. I think the Big 12 could go upside down yet again. To be honest with you, it's gonna sound biased to say that I think Arizona State is the surest thing that you can get to a team that's going to win 8 games in this conference because this is a team that was picked to finish again dead last year and ended up winning the conference. But I do feel like given what we've seen from this team, from this program, the stability that you've seen now year over year.
All their coaches are coming back.
All the coaches are
literally
back.
all of them.
Like, I think that is going to make such a big difference. And this conference is similar to the Pac-12 in its past, where it felt like it ate itself alive. Especially now that there isn't a Texas or an Oklahoma to really be the juggernaut.
The
here.
Pac-12ification of the Big 12.
Exactly.
I coined that term.
Now I think Arizona State is in a prime spot, and we say often on this show how important this 2025 season is going to be for the Sun Devils. But I think and that's just more from a national perspective, right? Of like being that powerhouse, being the quote unquote Oregon of this generation, this decade, being the Clemson of this decade. But I think this is such an important season for the Sun Devils because of showing this conference that you are going to be here every single year.
Sure, it's not just a national thing. It's a Big 12 thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people who don't think that ASU is a Big 12 favorite going into this year. And this is not a conference where people repeat.
Yeah.
Even with the Texas.
It's only happened, one other time?
It's only happened with Oklahoma. Even when those 2 other schools were here. Didn't
Flip-flop.
happen. Back-to-back championships does not happen in the Big 12. It would be a statement for your first 2 years to go in and win the back-to-back.
Yeah, it would be.
And it's not like listen, it's not like this conference sucks. It's not like ASU joined the Big 12, the conference sucks. BYU was a top 10 team last year.
Top 5 team.
Iowa State was a top 25 team last year. Colorado was a top 25 team last year.
Utah was top
Utah
25 team.
at a certain point, but they fell out.
Still top 25 team at a certain point.
TCU was 9-4 overall. Baylor was 8-5. Colorado was 9-4. Like Kansas State was 9-4. Kansas State was a top 25 team for a majority of the season. Like this is a good conference. And that's going off of last year where usual powerhouses like Oklahoma State didn't win a single conference game. Utah was 2-7 in conference last year.
Arizona coming off a 10-win year.
Hard to imagine that we don't care about them. Hard to imagine that like Utah and Oklahoma State have worse years than they did last year. Therefore, they get better, right? We assume TCU is getting better. We assume Baylor's getting better. I know Colorado's up for debate. I think they get better.
You think they get better than
Ralph convinced me.
9-4?
Okay.
I think they get better than 9-4.
I don't know if record-wise they get better. I think team-wise they're better than 9-4. And Ralph convinced me.
I don't know what that means.
Ralph convinced me of this, where they're going to go from what felt like a showcase for Shedeur and for Travis to a more complete football team.
They lost their starting quarterback and the best quote-unquote player in college football.
Yeah, and they got, yes, and I think it was a showcase for those two guys. By the way, they got a good starting quarterback. That's the thing. They got Liberty starting quarterback, and Ralph said this twice, and I'm just going to be repeating Ralph talking points to you now, who has more rushing yards in his career than Colorado does in that same span. Their quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a good conference. There is good talent in here. And if Arizona State walks in and goes back-to-back, which by all means is on the table, if not the expectation, right?
I think it's the expectation.
I think it's the expectation. I think getting there is the expectation.
You got to at least be in that game.
At least be in the Big 12 championship. Which
I'm
is
going to be pissed off if they're not in
if
that
they're not
game.
in it.
You hear me, Kenny? I'm going to be pissed if they're not in this game. Because you got it all.
And they have a tough
You have it all.
And they have a tough schedule, too.
Screw the tough
Baylor,
schedule.
Texas Tech.
Screw the tough
TCU.
schedule, man. I'm like that doesn't mean anything to me. The tough schedule doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm just saying like the path there isn't easy, but they should still
But it's not easy for anybody. It's hard to win in college football. It's hard to win in college athletics week over week because guess what? You got college students. I say students lightly. You've got college students.
You have college-age football players
out here doing X, Y, and Z, right?
Kyson Brown's in
he's in
Barrett. You know,
you got
Keith Abney.
ASU, very different.
Yeah,
very,
we're talking
very
about
different.
the other schools.
We're talking about some of the other schools.
Student athlete means something.
No, in all seriousness, this is the expectation to win this conference, to at the very least be in that Big 12 championship game, be fringe college football playoff, if not somewhat of a lock. Why? Because you have Sam Leavitt, right? A projected first-round pick in 2026. Because you have Jordyn Tyson, a projected top 10 pick in 2026. Because you have the preseason Big 12 offensive player in the year in your quarterback in Sam Leavitt. Because you've got 5 Sun Devils on offense and defense that are a part of the preseason All-Big 12
Plus
team.
some that you could consider snubs.
Not to mention, like you said, you got all your coaches back. There is zero reason why Arizona State, if healthy, should not be playing in the Big 12 championship game in 2025. I don't care if the schedule's hard. Cry me a river. I don't care if I just any of it. I really don't care about the fact that nobody wins this conference back to back. Go be the change that you want to see, right? And I think Arizona State can do that, especially because nobody saw them coming last year. Yes, everybody knows about you now. That's fine.
Yeah.
Stop it. Everybody knows about Oregon every year. Nobody beats them. Everybody knows about Ohio State every year.
If as a program, what's stopping you from competing is people being prepared to play
we got you. We got you figured out now.
Like, we're going to play you hard this time.
Then, yeah.
Then you're not a program. Like you're not a threat then. You're not a threat. So yeah. Get me to August.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Look, before August, we've got Big 12 Media Day.
It's gonna be a whirlwind.
It's tomorrow and Wednesday are gonna be
early.
Days. Yeah, we're gonna be really. We're gonna find out if Damon and Kevin are morning people.
No shot.
No shot that either one of them. Noah's
chance.
just shaking his head back there too.
0.000000.
That they're morning people.
We don't know when Damon's gonna show up to the office today.
That's fair. That is 100% fair. Look, we are gonna do a little bit of a unique heat index to close the show right after our final break.
Listen, I'm a man of consistency, a man of habit, and I've consistently been using Desert Financial Credit Union for as long as I've been making money. Since I was working at a grocery store in high school to right here sitting in this desk today, it's always been Desert Financial Credit Union. If you're an Arizona sports fan, specifically an Arizona State fan, there's no better place for you to do your banking than Desert Financial Credit Union because you can get exclusive debit cards branded with Arizona State University. And for more than 84 years, DFCU has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. But you ask yourself, Erik, what would an example of that be? How about $200 for free? And this ain't no like small time promotion. They'll do it for 2 weeks. No, like they've been doing this for as long as I've been at PHNX. $200 in bonuses when you open up a free checking account online. Get those $200 in bonuses. All you gotta do is get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200.
I'm here to tell you that I love Circle K.
End of end.
I mean it. I mean it with all of my heart. We were driving back, my girlfriend and I, from California just the other day, and we needed to fill up on gas, right? So we stopped in Yuma. Gas was already cheap. It was like $2.87 a gallon in Yuma, which was just ridiculously cheap in and of itself, right? Pull up to the pump, type in my phone number because I'm an Inner Circle member.
Congrats.
It was like a random Inner Circle fuel day. It was 50 cents off per gallon, dude. It cost me $14 to fill up that car.
Man.
I was smiling from ear to ear, and it's all because of Circle K. Not only do they got deals on gas, but they got deals on snacks, drinks, everything pretty much. And it's super easy to be an Inner Circle member. Download the app, enter your email and phone number, and that's literally all you have to do. Pull up to the pump, type in your phone number, and that's it. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
Man, I never thought I'd have more FOMO about Circle K.
Dude, I was so happy.
Here's the thing.
50 cents off, and it's already $2.97 a gallon.
Well, you were gone, dude.
What are we talking about?
I missed the Inner Circle day. Like, I forgot to fill up. And I'm still having to deal with the consequences from that. I haven't filled up since, and it's just it makes
tough.
Me,
you live a rough life.
I mean, people are saying the roughest.
Yeah, the roughest of rough lives.
Yes.
Look, media day tomorrow. Be there.
We're flying
be
first
square.
class.
We're not actually. We'll be lucky if we're not strapped to the wings of the plane on the way to Frisco. But again, we will be live on Tuesday at a unnamed time and Wednesday
we'll figure it out
at an unnamed time. We will definitely let everybody know as soon as we figure that out with the Wildcats foes. We got to kind of figure out what schedules
have
look
live
like.
shows. We'll have interviews, social content, behind the scenes stuff for our Discord.
Follow us at PHNX _Sun Devils. Follow him at Erik Ruby. Follow me at Anthony Totri.
Go Devils.
I'm just telling you now, there's going to be a ton of content 24/7 in Dallas. It's going to be a ton of fun. The media day is like our Super Bowl pretty much with all of the stuff
minus
that we
the
get.
Big 12 championship and the college football playoffs.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It's the Super Bowl for everybody else.
It's the Super Bowl of the offseason.
There you go. I'll take that.
Yeah.
The offseason Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. Be on the shows. You never know what's going to happen. Pistol Pete might pull his pistol on me like he did last time.
We got to talk to Phil Steele.
You have an obsession.
It's bucket list material.
It's not, though. It's not bucket list material. Look,
you're such a hater.
Arizona State sending a ton of players, 6, I believe, to the Big 12 Media Day along with Kenny Dillingham. Normally, during the season, we do a segment called Heat Index before every game where we give you guys 3 Arizona State players, offense, defense, that ultimately need to have a big game. I figured tomorrow is ASU's first big offseason game, if you will. So I've got 3 players that can really, really help themselves with some good media day performances. So this is what we've got for Heat Index, starting with CJ Fite. Now, the number of flame emojis is pretty much how much they can help themselves in my eyes with a really good media day. CJ Fite just getting the 1 because I feel like today already got the preseason all-conference hype. I think he can help himself a little bit more on a national basis. But CJ Fite, man, he's going to be back home in Texas.
Oh, yeah. He is going to be a darling.
Yeah,
for everybody. He's gonna
the biggest darling you ever saw.
I think all 3 of these players. I think the rest of the media is gonna absolutely love. And I do think that CJ, though, along with another name on this list, has been recognized. But getting to know them and talk to them does kind of set things apart. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what the conversation around CJ Fite is after Big 12 Media Day.
Yeah, and I got Clayton Smith second on this Heat Index with 3 fire emojis, somebody that wasn't represented at all.
This is a good because we didn't even bring him up earlier.
No, but I think he is certainly somebody that, with all of the offseason hype that this program is getting and him not necessarily being a part of it, with a really solid media day with us, with ESPN, with all these other outlets, and then going out and having a big year, I think Clayton Smith can really, really help himself. I think he can end up somewhere in the NFL draft in 2026.
Is Clayton Smith the name that we think could be added to the first team at the end of the season?
At the end of the season, yeah. I think that's certainly something.
Because we didn't even talk about him.
No, but I think, and I've made it a big point of my thoughts on the offseason, that this pass rush in general kind of was a little lackluster. last season.
The weakest part of the defense.
They got to the quarterback, and Clayton said it. They got to the quarterback, but they had trouble bringing them down.
Yeah.
I think you have a really solid year. I think Clayton Smith is somebody that we could be talking about at the end of the year with anywhere between 7 and 10 sacks, and that would be a great year for Clayton Smith. And again, he can only do so much at media day, but I think a good media day tomorrow is going to certainly help him. And then rounding out the Heat Index, the most recent guest that we've had in terms of ASU players, Ben Coleman. Just one fire emoji.
I wouldn't say I'm like surprised that he got named to the all Big 12 preseason list, but I think like switching positions and stuff is definitely interesting. You talk to him though. I mean, again, they're gonna fall in love with him.
Yeah,
like it's gonna be hard not to be like,
he
oh
is
man,
a media savant.
Yeah.
So
am I.
All those guys, I'm looking forward
Noah hated that.
To chatting up. When we get to Frisco, when they get to Frisco, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm interested to see which of the Sun Devils are watching Love Island.
Is that what you're gonna ask?
100%. I'm going to ask.
Are you?
Them. I am, but I'm not caught up yet.
No,
I'm not caught watching up on Love Island. You're not watching it? No, are you watching it? No, Noah's not watching it. Oh. You guys suck.
Sure.
You know that?
Why would I watch that?
Why not? What else are you watching?
Noah's life is basically just Love Island anyway.
No, not anymore.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything.
No, that's an off-show topic.
Yeah.
It's an off-show topic.
On-show topic. Rhett Knows MMA says, can you shout out my dad? He's the biggest Arizona State fan ever, and we watch your guys' videos all the time. His name is Michael. Shout out to
Mike.
you, Michael. Shout out,
Mike.
shout out. Thank you for watching
shout out.
and listening. Also, thank you, Rhett Knows MMA. He Fite.
Bro. Hit the like button. I wouldn't be surprised if you hit the dislike button for that.
No.
But hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. And again, before we get out of here, make sure you sign up to become a PHNX diehard. We always do stuff behind the scenes when it comes to these events, when it comes to game days. And of course, like we've said a million times already, Big 12 Media Day tomorrow, you're going to get a bunch of stuff behind the scenes if you're a diehard. Super easy to sign up. Go phnx.com, click the Die Hard tab. Boom. That's all you need to know right there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
We've had some new friends joining there, and it's not just for Arizona
Some
State,
new foes
but
as well.
It's for all Arizona sports fans. So if you like Arizona State, but you also like the Suns and the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals and the Mercury and the Rising, we have all those channels in there for you. It's a super fun time.
It is 100%. Guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX
One more
Sun Devil
thing.
Show. Or not.
One more thing.
Rubus is
I want to know
that.
what's besides Arizona State the biggest storyline
The biggest
that you were going to
BYU.
monitor. Yeah,
BYU 100%. Kalani Sitake and the quarterback situation going on.
I'm rooting for Trayson.
I am rooting for Trayson as well.
I'm hoping he can pull through.
But that is, we'll see. That is 1,000% the other biggest storyline at Big 12.
Okay, maybe something different, like Oklahoma State. What again? Gundy, what is he doing?
I'm sure Kyle Whittingham is going to be asked about retirement.
Yeah. Does Brett and Brennan wear the lay? Oh,
Yeah, that's
you
something.
think so?
I think 100% he wears the lay. There's no question in my mind. That he
I
wears
don't
the lay.
know.
You don't think he wears the
I
lay?
don't know if he wears the lay.
He's going to wear the lay. Yeah, find out tomorrow on the PHNX Sun Devils
We'll
show.
have breaking news for
We
you.
will. Maybe we'll get a graphic. Wearing lay.
Brett and Brennan got laid.
Yeah, okay. That's going to do it, guys. Give the show a
Clip
follow
it.
at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow the middle seat man here at Erik Ruby.
Not
That is
today.
Erik with a K. And you can follow Noah somewhere on the internet. But again, we'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, go Devils in peace.
We all silly like the mayor.